Have you ever said something in the heat of the moment and instantly regretted it? Words are powerful, more than most men realize. In a relationship, your words can either build a deep emotional bond or slowly tear everything apart. If you think it's just about actions and not words, think again. One wrong sentence, even a careless phrase, can destroy how a woman sees you. Not because she's too sensitive, but because your words reflect your awareness, your strength, and your emotional intelligence. And if you don't know how to speak with presence, you'll come off as careless, insecure, or weak, even if that's not your intention. The truth is, most men were never taught how to communicate in relationships. We're told to be strong, silent, logical, and that emotions are a woman's domain. But here's the catch. If you can't connect through words, you'll never connect deeply at all. Women are biologically wired to respond to language, tone, and emotional signals. So when you say certain things, even casually, they don't just hear what you said, they hear what you meant. And that's where respect is either built or broken. Let's talk about one of the most common relationship mistakes men make: telling a woman to calm down. Maybe you didn't mean to be rude. Maybe you were just trying to diffuse a tense moment. But to her, it doesn't feel calming. It feels dismissive. It tells her that her emotions are too much, too irrational, too inconvenient. And when a woman feels unheard, she doesn't get quieter. She pulls away. A strong man knows how to sit in discomfort, to validate feelings without giving up his frame. He listens not to react, but to understand. That's real strength, emotional strength. And trust me, that's what women remember. Another phrase that quietly damages trust is, "You're just like your mother." Even if you think it's true, even if it's meant as a joke, I don't say it. Because let's be honest, you're not trying to compliment her. You're trying to score a cheap point, usually out of frustration. And that never leads anywhere healthy. Women respect a man who can stay grounded during conflict, who can lead with logic and compassion, not insults and immaturity. If you want to build something real, don't attack her roots. Don't weaponize her past. Rise above the emotional low ground. And let's be real for a moment. If you've ever said, "You're lucky to have me," you probably weren't acting like someone worth keeping. Confidence doesn't need to be spoken. It's felt. It's seen in your actions, your calm presence, the way you treat others. Saying, "You're lucky to have me," isn't masculine, and it's insecure. Real masculine energy is secure in silence. It doesn't need approval or applause, it just is. And when you respect yourself deeply, others do too, without you having to remind them. Here's another one. "I don't care." You might think you're being chill, easygoing, drama-free, but to a woman, it sounds like emotional abandonment. When she brings something up, a decision, an argument, even a random thought, and you respond with, "I don't care," what she hears is, "You don't matter." And once a woman feels like she doesn't matter to you emotionally, she starts emotionally detaching herself from you. And once that process starts, you may never get her back. A man who truly doesn't care isn't attractive, but he's forgettable. Show up. Even if you don't have a strong opinion, show interest. That's what being emotionally present looks like. Lastly, we have the infamous phrase, "That's just how I am." No growth, no ownership, just stubborn pride pretending to be identity. Men use this line when they're too afraid to change, too afraid to look in the mirror, but here's the truth. Who you are is not fixed. Masculinity evolves. A man who refuses to grow is a man who chooses to stay small. If you really want a woman to respect you, don't tell her who you are. Show her who you're becoming. She'll follow your lead, if you're actually leading. You see, relationships aren't destroyed by one big event. They're worn down by small, repeated moments of disconnection. Most men think attraction is just about looks or power, but women fall in love with how you make them feel. And your words, they're the gateway. You don't need to be perfect, but you do need to be intentional. Speak with care. Don't react. Respond. Because every time you speak, you're showing the world what kind of man you are. Choose your words like you choose your values, with strength and clarity. Let me say this clearly, it's not weakness to care about what you say. It's power. It's control. It's what separates boys from men. Anyone can react. But a real man understands the impact of his presence and uses his voice to build trust, not break it. He leads not through force, but through calm, confident communication. And in a world full of noise and ego, that kind of man, he stands out. He's remembered, he's respected, and more importantly, he's loved deeply and truly. So if you've made these mistakes before, don't beat yourself up. Learn from them. Speak with purpose. Live with awareness, because real masculinity isn't in domination, it's in discipline. And the man who masters his words, he becomes unforgettable.